to business.
Hello, everyone.
Are we live?
We're live on the tubes.
Live on the internet?
The interwebs.
I love the internet.
I'm recording. Test. Everyone said test.
Test.
Testaroonie.
Ooh, good. You're both recording. I'm happy.
It's a miracle.
There will be a podcast.
Don't jinx it, Todd.
Yeah, right.
I just work here, man. Technology scares me.
All right.
I actually know the woman who designed the Barbie that said, math is hard.
Oh, God.
She did not put that in. They did it when she was on vacation.
I imagine so.
All right. So.
There it goes.
I think I have a little too much headroom.
All right. Well, this is going to be great. I'm excited. Are you excited, Allison Sheridan?
I am excited. I got Todd Whitehead to talk to. It's just going to be two old
know.
pals hanging out, right?
Todd's excited.
Fun will be had.
Look at that. It's almost time to start the show.
Let's see. Are
So-
you sticking on you? Or am I causing that?
What do you mean?
There you go. Now it's switching.
I want to apologize in advance to all the Alpha Geek Radio listeners. It's probably going to be not the best audio quality today. We're just highly experimental first use of a brand new simulcasting system on my worst hardware, so sorry in advance.
You decided to suffer yourself?
I had to test it somehow, so I might as well throw myself under the bus.
Guess what? It's 1:30. Let's do a show.
Booyah! Let's do it.
All right. That's me, right? Let's see. Start at the top. Here we go.
And we're done.
This is starting out perfectly.
Okay,
Okay.
everybody.
Great show.
All right,
All right.
give it a go.
Here we go. This is the Daily Tech News Show for Thursday, June 11th. I'm Allison Sheridan, filling in for Tom Merritt, who's on double secret special assignment. With me today is Todd Whitehead, a founder of Alpha Geek Radio. How you doing today, Todd?
I am doing great. How is your world?
Well, I got to say, what was Tom thinking, leaving us in charge?
The fools! The fools!
I thought he knew better than that. All right, let's take a look at the headlines. Oculus Rift unveiled the finalized consumer version of Rift VR headset ahead of E3 2015, which begins this week. According to TechCrunch, the Rift will ship with a wireless Xbox One controller and a small tabletop camera to track LED markers on the headset. The Rift features removable headphones as well as space to let users keep normal eyeglasses on, yay, when the headset is worn. The partnership with Microsoft also means Rift will work natively with Windows 10, plus the ability to play Xbox One games on the headset. Oculus also showed off a prototype of its Oculus Touch controllers known as the Half Moon. They let you pick up objects, fire a gun, or point at things and include integrated inertial and 360-degree movement tracking, plus giving it haptic feedback. What do you think, Todd?
Well, this is going to be our big discussion topic for today, but I am cautiously nerd-squeeing about this one. The details have been very thin up until now, other than it's going to be VR. So I want to leave most of it for the main discussion, but looking very sexy.
Yeah, we're going to dig into this.
Ars Technica reports that the European Commission has opened an antitrust investigation into Amazon's distribution of electronic books. The Commission is particularly interested in the company's contracts with publishers, especially clauses that say Amazon must be informed when a publisher gives favorable or different terms to a competitor, and the right to equal or better terms for themselves. When contacted for a statement, Amazon expressed confidence in the legality of their agreements and said they would cooperate fully.
Well, you know, I don't have a lot of experience with contracts, but the way I remember it is when you're in negotiations and stuff, you're not allowed to tell people what the other guys are doing, is the way I thought was going. Maybe my contracts people were funny that way.
Anti-competitive what? That just has hinky written all over it. That's just like, wow. They got away with that this far?
I do love the European Union. You go, girl. That's what I say.
Get them. Sick them.
GeekWire reports that T-Mobile's outspoken and rakish CEO John Legere, their words not ours, posted a YouTube video lashing out against rivals AT&T and Verizon, I believe he called them Dumb and Dumber, for the tactics in trying to control the upcoming wireless spectrum auction. Legere said there's some serious bleep about to go down in DC, and if you're one of the 180 million Americans out there using a smartphone and you are not pissed off right now, then you are not paying attention, but you need to. GeekWire reports that he asked consumers to make some noise and reach out directly to the FCC. The remarks come as T-Mobile considers a tie-up with Dish Network Corp, a deal that could alter the landscape in the wireless industry and give T-Mobile more spectrum.
Can I just say, I love this guy. Every time he gets a camera pointed at him, he says something more awesome than the time before. I love how he's shaking up the industry and just talks plain.
And, you know, if you're ever bored, load Periscope up on your phone, and all you will get is John Legere periscoping over and over and over again. You don't have to wait for someone else to post a camera on him because he's always on Periscope. So, yeah, I love the guy. I think he's just awesome. And
he's doing good work as far as people should really be paying attention to this because backroom deals are going down that will affect us for years and years and years to come. So listen to what he has to say. You'll be entertained and informed.
It sort of feels like the stuff we have all been saying, only we're not nearly as entertaining about it as he is, right?
Yes, he has a much bigger microphone than we do. Reuters reports that iPhone manufacturer Foxconn is in talks to build the first Apple plant in India. The move could lower prices for Apple products in India, which is expected to have 650 million smartphones in country by 2019. Oh, and it will also likely decrease production costs as compared to rising wages in China. One local official said Foxconn would be scouting locations next month. Foxconn had previously said that it wants to develop 10 to 12 facilities in India by 2020. Busy doing to China what China did to Japan. That's India for you.
You know, I found this interesting. We went to India just recently, and one of our guides was saying that they have actually priced themselves out of the outsourcing market because the Indian wages came up so much with all the outsourcing work that they had that now that's being shifted down to the Philippines. So I guess there's like a natural flow down, and I guess it's going to move from China to India, and then the Philippines can be in line for that next or something. I'm not sure how that works, but it was interesting to see that they had moved one industry out, and maybe this is climbing up the food chain a little bit for India.
That's circle of life in, who's got the lowest wages and the worst environmental protections? Let's put our factories there. But I'm not cynical about it at all.
Well, there's that. Wired reports that the U.S. State Department has issued new statements on how it plans to restrict published online data for 3D printed guns. Earlier this week, the State Department sent a letter to Defense Distributed, the group responsible for developing a 3D printed gun, stating that it will require the group to get permission to publish its files online. Last week, the State Department wrote that it intends to require prior approval for the online publication of any technical data that would allow for the creation of weapons. This continues a long legal battle between creators who say that the data is a freedom of speech issue, and the State Department, which considers the information could be a violation of the International Trade in Arms regulations. The new State Department restrictions come as Congress starts to re-examine potential regulations on 3D printed weapons.
Freedom of speech. I guess I could dictate the technical schema for 3D printing a gun to you, but I'm not sure this necessarily falls under the same protections. It's, from a layperson's perspective, that seems like a bit of a stretch to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Without getting into a giant political discussion with everybody listening, I have opinions that would support the State Department in this one. So it is an interesting idea, though, the technical data side of it. I mean, if you teach someone how to make a bomb with fertilizer and such, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what the ingredients are, but is that considered technical data? I don't know.
It seems to be of the same kind, and what are the controls on that? This goes back to the old days of the anarchist cookbook. That got published.
Yeah.
Interesting. Today, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission took its first consumer protection action on a crowdsourcing campaign. Recode reports the case involves an Oregon man named Eric Chevalier, who launched a Kickstarter campaign to produce a board game called The Doom That Came to Atlantic City. Chevalier asked for $35,000, got $122,000, and then 14 months later announced he was canceling the game. Except, he didn't give the money back. Investigators found he used most of the money on personal expenses. The FTC fined Chevalier $111,793, which he cannot pay, and barred him from misleading people in future crowdfunding campaign or publicizing any customer data or not honoring stated refund policies.
Now, can anybody say this is a bad thing? This seems like a wonderful thing that they went after this guy. It's too bad that he spent all the money.
But it is setting precedent, at least, of if you think it's a good idea to con people via crowdsourcing, which more and more cases of that are coming to light. There's lots of cases of people going to manufacturers in Asia, finding producers making low-end goods, and then representing them as Kickstarter. Say, hey, kickstart my little micro drone and give me money and I'll produce it, when they're in fact just buying it on the cheap from a Chinese producer and reselling it and pretending that they developed it with the money that they raised. That's not cool. So that kind of fraud, the law needs to grow and adapt to the new creative criminals that are out there. So this precedent did need to be set.
I really hate if this gets wrecked. Because it's been such a brilliant idea, but again, a dangerous idea, right? The best thing to think with these things is that you're not guaranteed anything if
right.
you sign up for these. But when they put in, we promise we will give you these.
When they have no intention of doing it, that's the most evil, is when they're doing it fraudulently from the get-go.
Yeah, it's sad when they meant to. It's evil when they didn't mean to, I guess.
Yes,
right?
evil.
Digital camera fanatics, there's a new king in the digital camera landscape. Engadget is reporting that Sony has released the A7R II, a camera using the world's first back-illuminated full-frame sensor. The back-illuminated sensors increases the sensor's light sensitivity, in this case to an ISO level of 102,400. Until now, the technology has been limited to high-end camera phones and smaller sensors. The camera's 35mm size sensor also sports 42.4 megapixels, 5-axis stabilization system, and 399-point detection autofocus. 399. Couldn't get that last one in, I guess. If that's not enough, the A7R II shoots 4K video using the full sensor without resorting to pixel binning, a technique where groups of pixels on the sensor are read as one pixel degrading image quality. The camera ships in the U.S. at a wallet-busting $3,200. You going to get in line for one of those, Todd?
I have never, thankfully, from my bank account standpoint, been bitten by the photography bug. So my Nexus 4 takes all the pictures I need it to, and I'll just dandy without dropping 3 large on a camera. Sounds sexy as hell. I'll dump my money into internet radio. Thank you very much.
There you go. It is a very, very dangerous addiction. Luckily, my addiction level is only at the very, very low end of mirrorless cameras so far, but that does sound pretty sweet.
The first thing is admitting that you have a problem. In addition to organizing the world's information, Google would now like to organize cities. According to The Telegraph, the search company has announced a new startup that will focus on improving city living. Sidewalk Labs will independently develop new technologies to deal with cost of living, transportation, and energy usage. Google's Larry Page said a modest amount of money has been invested in the new company. What does modest mean to Google?
It was like 32 million or something. That was just out of the seat cushions.
A rounding error for them is my 10-year budget. So how modest is modest, and where can I get a cut?
I love this idea, though, because I've turned into one of those people who starts calling the city about changes they're making to sidewalks and stuff. I'm becoming that weird little old lady that's going, well, I don't understand how this crosswalk works. What have you done here?
Well, in previous generations, you would have been writing letters to the editor. You're just the mature technological version of that, where you email them. What are you doing to my sidewalk?
Oh, no, they don't have email, Todd. I use the telephone when I call them like it's 1972. It's really sad.
The who what?
Yeah, I don't know. I had to go next door to find one. Well, Engadget reports that Skype has announced it will end the modern UI, also known as Windows 8 only, version of its messaging app on PCs as of July 7th. After that date, the next update will move users over to the desktop version. Skype says it's simplifying the experience around a single program that you can use with both a touchscreen and a mouse and keyboard. The move will not affect Windows RT. I hope not, since there's only the modern UI, right? Or the Skype features in Windows 10.
This just smacks of their general overhaul as they head for Windows 10 to make the adaptive interfaces as you shift from phone to tablet to desktop. All their applications will adapt to whether you're on a touchscreen, whether you're on a small touchscreen, a full-size touchscreen, desktop with a mouse. So it makes perfect sense that they would have this ready for the July launch of Windows 10, which I'm kind of looking forward to.
All right, I think you're up, Todd.
Breaking news! According to BuzzFeed, Dick Costolo is stepping down as the CEO of Twitter, following months of questions about the company's performance under his leadership. Jack Dorsey, Twitter's co-founder, has been tapped as interim CEO. Costolo released a statement which said lots of nice things about Dorsey. Dorsey released a statement that said lots of nice things about Costolo. Twitter stock is up 7% on the news in after-hours trading. There is almost certainly more to come in 140-character sound bits.
Have you read the Hatching Twitter book?
No, I have not.
It will really make you think weirdly of Twitter. You should check it out. It's a very strange book about all the different comings and goings of the CEO, so this just appears to be the next chapter.
Yeah, I'm in a kind of documentary phase right now, tunneling through Netflix, so that kind of behind-the-scenes lifting the hood thing will be right in my happy place, so I'll give it a look.
Oh, yeah, it's very, very weird. Dorsey will continue to lead Square, the mobile payments company he founded after he first left Twitter in 2008. This is Dorsey's second time returning to Twitter in an increased capacity. He returned in 2010 to lead product after Costolo became CEO and then gradually scaled back his commitment. And now, time for some news from you. Captain Kipper sent us the Verge report that Reddit has banned 5 subreddits under its new anti-harassment policy. The subreddits were closed for violating the Reddit rules to keep everyone safe. One forum dedicated to posting pictures of overweight people had about 151,000 subscribers. A Reddit spokesperson said sites all had numerous complaints that they were harassing people on and off Reddit. The company also said it is taking a step-by-step approach to the recent harassment changes. Whew.
Are you anything of a Redditor, Allison?
No, I'm not, but I know one in my house.
Yeah, they've been kind of burning Reddit to the ground for the last 24 hours or so.
Because of this?
This I call this the anonymity problem, because when you have a very loosely policed exchange like Reddit, previously we had Dig, and you attempt to make money off of it, you inevitably have to try and apply some rules, and the free-loving trolley types of the internet don't like them no rules. So, as happened with Dig before, the reaction to, we'd really like it if we had content that was more appealing to advertisers, so we're going to shut down really vile, hateful stuff. So the trolls have escaped from the subreddits that they used to be on, and they're tearing the whole place down around their ears and making it a very unpleasant place to be right now. And this is why we can't have nice anonymous things. We'll see if this one blows over, or if it's going to be Dig 2.0 2.0.
No.
We shall see. Habichuela Condolce sent us this story from the Wall Street Journal, reporting that Netflix is partnering with Marriott Hotels to bring its streaming video service to more than 300 hotels in the U.S. Marriott guests will be able to sign into their accounts through a Netflix app on the hotel room's TV, or use the app to subscribe to the service if they're not already subscribers. The service requires some recoding of the Netflix app to allow guests to stay signed in over multiple days and wipe their information clean after they have checked out. The company's plan is to roll out the service over the next year and a half, targeting implementation at nearly all of its hotels by the end of 2016. 6 Marriott hotels already offer the service, and 6 more will be offering it by the end of the summer.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
We will automatically log you out.
Sure we will. Just after we watch this interesting thing that's going to show up in your queue when you get home. Yeah,
especially a service tied to your credit card.
Oh God, yes. I'm all kinds of hackles rising on that one. You better be real careful about sanitizing that login information the moment they leave.
It sounds really cool. I hope they do it right. Yeah. Well, somebody named SP Sheridan shared this surprising bit of news. Ars Technica reports Hyperloop Transport Technologies has secured permission to build a 5-mile, $100 million Hyperloop test track in California. That's right, Elon Musk's vision of high-speed mass transit will be built. The first test track will only be 5 miles long, and it won't operate at the supersonic speeds that Musk envisioned, somewhere between 200 to 300 miles per hour instead of the 760 miles per hour envisioned. This test track will be built near Quay Valley in California, in between San Francisco and Los Angeles. Construction is scheduled to begin in 2016 and completed in 2017. If this costs $100 million, how much does the really fast long one cost?
Oh, I'm assuming it would be billions, but I mean, a good bit of this is going to be developing technologies from the ground up that do not exist.
This is the NRE, the non-recurring engineering expense?
In theory. Now, eventually, if this were built, it would be a government project, so just put in an exponential increase into your budget, and you'll be fine. But I just, before I die, I wouldn't mind riding in a pneumatic tube at least once and just pretend I'm on the moon in Space 1999 riding around Moonbase Alpha because I'm a big fat nerd is why.
Ever since being in a JCPenney and as a very, very young child watching them stick the money in those little tubes and having them suck up to payroll upstairs into the I want to be in the tube too.
Put me in the tube.
Well, let's get on to our discussion story now, Todd. Let's talk more about your squeen nerdness over Oculus Rift's commercial VR headset with Xbox One controller, wireless Xbox controller. And why does this excite you?
It is beginning to have the feelings of a genuine next big thing. I was concerned when some of the information about the PC version of Oculus Rift, the requirements you would need to have on the PC side to run it adequately. And it was really a very high-end gaming rig that you would need to own to run it at full tilt.
Okay.
The fact that they're confidently releasing one for a gaming console gives me hope that they will be able to ease in acceptance as long as the content that they deliver through the VR headset is compelling. So it won't be nearly as incredible and amazing as if you were hooking the version up to a high-end PC, but if it is still as moving and awe-inspiring an experience as everyone I've talked to. I mean, you've had one of these things on your head, have you not?
I've actually very recently used a developer kit 2 hooked up to a PC too, and I wanted to talk about that, but finish your thought.
Yeah. Because I still have yet to experience it myself, but everyone I've talked to who has experience says you have no idea until you have tried it. If it's coming out for a gaming console, the opportunity to get people to try it is greatly increased. And if they get decent adoption out of the gate, this has a chance to grow legs and become the next big fun thing for us to play with for the next 10 years.
This might be the next fun, terrifying thing. So I went to my friend Ryan's house and he let me put it on, and first of all, I mean, I screamed a couple times because his daughter touched my hand and it freaked me out when she touched me in the middle of it because I'm someplace else. Where did that even come from? I thought it was a monster in the room.
You were that immersed.
Oh, yeah. Now, the frame rate was pretty bad. Like, if I turned my head at any kind of speed, I would see double images until it settled out. It wasn't really highly graphic. But he said, Allison, look at your hands. And I looked down and was like, ah! Because it was somebody else's hands. They weren't my hands. And I would move my hands, and those hands wouldn't move. And it was mentally really confusing. But okay, so maybe I'm just not used to it. But he told me that he's had an evening where he spent a couple hours in it, right? He's playing a game. He's really, really into it. And then he took the headset off, and he says, now, Allison, look at this plant right here. You know and I know that this is a 3-dimensional plant. But when I took off the headset, it was like 11-dimensional. It was super hyper 3D, and it freaked me out because everything looked really weird when I took the headset off. So he started thinking, what if I put this on my daughter's head? her brain is still forming. You know, his is all atrophied by this time because he's over 30. But his, you know, he said, what if I put it on my developing child's brain? What would it do to her? You know, we don't know what that's going to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, they seem to have found something that where they can mainline straight into different centers of the brain.
Yeah.
And are they going to use those powers for good or for evil?
Is there a little jack I feel on the back of my neck right there? I've been trying to figure out what that thing is.
Yeah. But I am cautiously hopeful. I mean, if it never becomes anything more than merely an entertainment appliance, it still has tremendous potential to be a really cool, fun entertainment appliance, both for just ingesting cinema and interactive things. The thing that I was most interested in seeing on this is the Half Moon controllers, because they're controllers where you can put input into the game, but also they give you motion tracking for the ends of your arms, which is a piece when I was looking at HoloLens, where Microsoft seems to have been nailing the whole body movement tracking, and so far Oculus has really been focusing on just head movement tracking, and this shows that they're expanding into tracking where your hands are, so as they said in the article, you can pick up a gun in game or interact with a control panel in game, because the system,
as long as it's not a 3D printed gun.
Exactly, because that would be illegal by the time this ships, but that's a whole other story. But you could interact, but the whole idea of where they present a floating 3D display in front of you. You can actually interact with buttons on it because it knows where your hand is. That opens up all kinds of fun game design possibilities.
Well, and that seems to be where you could go beyond the gaming, right? If you could be on Mars and putting something together using your hands, building something, interacting with something, and maybe remote controlling something, you start to go, well, that's kind of
not even that specific, just the concept of a virtual display. So a huge screen opens up floating in space in front of you, and all kinds of controls can be put there. So home automation, I can control my home alarm, I can control my Nest thermostat, I can send a tweet out to, it's basically everything you can control electronically, you can control via a well-designed virtual console. And all you're doing is sitting in your recliner. This is the end of fitness as we know it. And doing all the things as long as it knows where you're looking and where your hands are. I trust in the creativity of developers to take a tool like that and deliver some seriously cool and useful things to us. And I'm waiting for the first big thing to come along that I never envisioned. And when I see it, it makes total sense.
This is one of those things where if they build it, the developers will come, and that's when you find out what it really is.
I'm hoping.
I was thinking the same thing you said about the fitness thing. It seems like when I went to CES, all the products were in two camps. Half of them were to make us fatter, and half of them were to make us thinner.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to get on my chair to walk upstairs to turn on the thermostat, but I'm wearing an Apple Watch and a Fitbit to make sure I measure my steps at the same time, right?
Yeah, but also from the gaming standpoint, if you're free to move enough for just a first-person shooter where you're having to crouch behind cover and shoot around corners, they could deliberately design that to give you a cardiovascular workout while you're being entertained. So this, on the flip side, could become the ultimate nerd fitness tool, where you are kicking ass and taking names in an online first-person shooter, and you look like an Adonis.
And you're knocking over furniture and kicking real people in the head while you're doing it, right? I
already envision whole rooms in homes being dedicated to this that are devoid of obstacles and just have the gaming rig and the person in it, and it's the VR room, because people will learn very quickly, hey, I destroyed all my knickknacks and I don't want to do that again.
I get hurt if I walk in there while Todd's playing, right?
Do not step into the room. Warning, warning.
All right.
Nerd flailing underway.
Let's move on to our pick of the day. Brandon in Frosty Cobra, Australia writes, as someone who has been listening to the net neutrality debate come to a head over the past 12 months, I thought I understood the importance of the outcome, but felt somewhat disconnected from the issue living in Australia. That was until I listened to the two most recent episodes of Upvoted by Reddit. Let's throw Reddit some love. Episode 20, a neutral net, part 1, and episode 21, a neutral net, part 2. the in-depth look into the issue of net neutrality with a special focus on developing internet markets like India and the impacts outside influences like Facebook and Internet.org are having. It's a great listen for anyone still struggling to understand the net neutrality debate or its importance. Having listened myself, I'm now questioning the value of zero-rated services at home in Australia. That sounds really, really interesting to me.
Yeah, the zero rating is a such a foreign concept to me, but just understanding
why we would have it.
I mean, I finally got a grip onto what it is.
Okay.
And the kind of not so great way, which is, hey, just use our free stuff, and how that is a very anti-competitive way to, quote, help people in the developing world. So it is at once, yes, you're giving people who need it free access to information, and you're also effectively denying them access to your competitors. So it's like, good, yeah. evil, good.
It is one of the hardest ones. Well, if you, like Brandon, have a great pick, you can send your picks to feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com, and you can find Tom's picks at dailytechnewsshow.com/picks. Well, let's see, our message of the day. Stephen Hoos writes in, I heard on DTNS that Apple will have terrestrial radio stations as part of their new streaming service. Perhaps Apple has a terrestrial radio so they qualify for the lower mechanical royalty fees. They want to sound like they're being innovative, but they're just squeezing every penny they can out of the music companies. Pandora came up with the same idea a while ago. I don't think anybody understands what Apple's talking about these days in this whole music thing, right?
I mean, it's... They've done their usual thing of, okay, where is their action in the tech sector? Where are people getting excited about? So, oh, look, streaming audio services are very competitive and people are getting interested in them. We have Spotify, we have Pandora, we have Rdio, we've got some older players, newer players, but it is on the minds of the consumer right now. And as usual, Apple will swoop in and give it a pretty interface, buy all the content, and make theirs the default go-to, or that is what they're attempting to do. I don't know if they're going to necessarily pull it off this time.
We will see.
Yeah, how sedentary are we stuck in our iOS walled garden? This will be a good little tell whether or not we're willing to take the easy way out.
That's right. Well, hey, Todd, I want to thank you for being on the show. Todd Whitehead of alphageekradio.com. I was so happy we would get to commandeer Tom's show today, and I don't think we broke it too much. Do you?
I'll wait for the angry flame emails later. But I had a good time.
Hey, if we had fun, who cares? All right, Todd, tell us
Indeed.
what's going on with what's new with Alpha Geek Radio these days.
We are getting ready to expand to the next level. So keep an eye. It's not quite ready to launch yet, but first week of July, I plan to launch my most ambitious Indiegogo to date to create a whole new way for you, Allison, as one of my hosts, to stream. You've been actually one of my beta testers of the tool where you stream your thing, and then the way you want to on whatever service you want. And then it just magically shows up on all these different platforms, and you didn't have to do anything but press a button.
You're basically slurping up all geek radio and video on the internet and starting your evil plan for world domination.
Take it in and send it everywhere. So no matter where you're standing when someone's live, you won't have an excuse not to listen or watch. So if you're far away from home and you've got a crappy cellular data connection, you can still listen. If you're in your car, great, put it through the car stereo. I want it to play on your potato is my tagline. So we've been testing it on really profoundly crappy salvaged hardware as a proof of concept, and the proof of concept is sound, but the hardware is weak. So I'll be looking to put together an Indiegogo to get some super sexy hot servers in here and make this work great for you guys. So watch for that, alphageekradio.com.
All right. Well, as Todd said, you can find my show, the NosillaCast podcast, on Alpha Geek Radio, but you can also find it over at podfeet.com. And I want to give special thanks. If you guys watching have noticed how flawless this whole week has been without Tom, it is only because of Jenny and Roger behind the scenes making everything go. This was smooth and easy for us, I thought, Todd.
I just showed up and talked into a microphone, and they did all the heavy lifting. Enough good cannot be said about them. So make sure you laud upon them lovingly in the chat realm.
All right. Well, special thanks to all 5,062 patrons who make this show possible. You can check that out at dailytechnewsshow.com/support. And our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. Call us at 512-59-DAILY. That's 593-2459. And listen to the show live at tunein.alphageekradio.com and visit our website at dailytechnewsshow.com.
I'll add it in post.
Add what?
I was gonna do the
tailors.
Frog Pants at the Diamond Club, and then I was having webcam problems getting back on. I was like, I'll add it in post.
We'll fix it in post.
Fix it in post. Hey guys, that was a great show. Really,
Cool.
It was awesome. It ended on time. That's my favorite kind of show. You had good stuff. Excellent. Thank you.
Yay!
You know what really helped? It was the vodka in my mug.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
That just calmed me right down.
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah.
Steve.
Morphine in the water. Yeah.
Would you like to hear some titles? Would you be interested in some titles?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
We'll
yes.
go over
All right.
Showbot here.
So far we have the right to print arms, fraud starter,
Ooh, I like that one.
serious beep going down in D.C.
Shouldn't that bleep? Shouldn't that be serious bleep?
Yeah, serious bleep, but I kind of like serious beep. Xboculus Rift, Xboculus,
Boxulus.
and the Uncanny Rift Valley. Oculus Rift X, closing the rift between virtual and reality. And
The obligatory Who Kicks the Kickstarters.
yes, I'm always a fan. And that's what I've got so far. Oh,
I
don't
like
forget
X.
the show without merit.
Maybe that should be saved for Friday, right? For the last one.
Yep.
I like Xboculus Rift.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. My second choice would be the right to print arms.
Yeah, when in doubt, I like to go with the discussion story one.
Yeah.
Just because, not that we care about SEO, but what the hey, right? At least it gives people an honest indication.
Oculus Occlusion is good.
Mm-hmm.
Skype is no longer modern. That's nice.
I like 11-dimensional plant.
Yeah. All right, I'm going with so it shall be written, so it shall be done, etc., etc., etc. Xboculus Rift.
I like it.
There.
Rolls off the tongue.
I leave you guys to talk as much as you wish or leave as early as you like from the post show. I now must edit.
This is the fun part. I'm hanging out.
Yes, please hang out and talk, and don't mind if I don't. I'm just editing.
So, Jenny, I'm going to create for you a permanent on-air script.
Yeah.
A special one for these.
Sorry about that.
No. I'm saying this is something new and different than what you've had before, because all you've had so far is the ones that are for when we're rigged with Tom being the broadcast source.
Yep.
So I'm going to give you a permanent one where when someone else is hosting the show and you just wanted to have it grab the audio from the Hangout, then it'll all happen server side. So on these days when Tom's gone, you'll still just have two buttons to hit, but you wanted to do anything on your end.
Yeah, because Alpha Geek Radio is such an amazing tool, and yet for some reason when I'm running the whole thing and doing all the stuff, it's like the one thing my brain can't handle, and that's entirely the fault of my brain. But it finds itself to be true, and then I start to troubleshoot it, and then other things slide. So I would be very grateful for that.
You are the poster child for this next.
I literally am. I am your worst case UX experience.
Oh no!
I like to think that I'm valuable in that regard, at least.
You are, because I can at least talk to you.
Right.
I have stories.
All right.
But yes,
all right.
the goal is to have that be the new normal, where someone will either do a Hangout or a YouTube Live or a Twitch or whatever, and they won't have to run encoding software on their end at all. They'll just press the button, get their cookie, and do their show.
I feel so reasonably certain that I burned an actual physical hole in Alpha Geek Radio Channel 2 the other day.
Wait, I never get a cookie when I broadcast, Todd.
That's because you know how to do it.
Supposed to get a cookie, though? You have to be motivated with little treats, Jenny.
Press the button, get a
Get it
pellet.
right.
Press the button, get a pellet. Here's your cookie.
Roger, point your
Yes.
camera down.
Why?
You're driving me nuts. Because you're sitting with your head like this on the edge of the screen. It drives me nuts. Every single day, Steve and I watch it and go, Roger!
Roger is melting.
I will say what Tom often says in these times. In these times.
There.
You know what I'm going to say?
What?
We don't have an official video level yet.
Yeah, but Roger's the video guy. This is what you look like, Roger.
No, yeah. And?
Hi, my name's Roger Chang.
Oh no!
I am professional.
We need to conform to suddenly broadcast standards. I find that very interesting.
Very broadcastist.
Very ironic.
Yeah.
What you want to do is put your head almost touching the top of the screen, because if you do a lower third like this, then if you're in the center of the screen,
you don't want your head
like
at the top of the screen, though. That's one of the big no-nos.
No. But the problem is, what I want to say, if you have a lower third.
Yeah, but I'm never on, so there is no lower
every day.
third. No, I'm on in the pre and the post show, but I'm not in the show.
Okay. Maybe you don't have to be at the top, but you can't be at the bottom either, like this.
I'm going to put a giant poster back there with my name, and I'm going to basically flip convention on its head.
I'm going to pay Len Peralta to send you a bunch of posters of his drawings to put up there.
I was just saying, my name is Roger Chang.
Thank you very much for being so nice to us in the show, but how did this become the pick on Roger day? Roger is doing a fabulous job for this show, and I will not let this stand. This will not stand.
I think he just doesn't understand that he has legions of fans that are showing up to see him in the pre and post show, and he needs to be
something above his nose.
Yeah, my forehead's above my nose.
Wait,
below your nose. I said it backwards, didn't I? Okay, I'll be nice, Jenny.
Everybody be nice to Roger. He's working really hard and has a brand new baby.
Yeah.
It's not bad brand new. I'm sure 13% depreciation since he's taken out of the hospital.
Drive it off. Yeah, he drove it off the lot. There you go.
Love to know more than anything else where on earth the recording of this show went. I'm playing it in Audio Hijack.
Oh, so you have it?
Oh, can you save it? Try doing a save as, and usually they'll tell you the folder that it's in.
Yeah, but it's not. It's just showing it to me in the app.
Are you in Audio Hijack? So on the bottom right, they moved it. There's a button that says Actions, and there's Show and Library.
Reveal and Finder. That's all I wanted.
Please send them an email, support@rogueamoeba.com, telling them to put that button back. I have written to them.
Every day, that's what takes me the longest, is like finding the physical file on my computer.
Yep.
So Jenny, here's another feature of the new system: is if you had lost that file, the server has captured an MP3 of the performance that you could have fallen back on.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah, I wanted that.
That is.
Well, I wanted that because I want to enable. There already exist apps for smartphones to shoutcast stream straight from the phone. Mm-hmm. Very few of them have the ability to also save it to MP3, so it's going to be a live performance and then no podcast. I want someone to be able to whip out their phone, do an interview on the spot with the phone that just, if the planets aligned and you had an opportunity, can I do a quick live interview with you, stream it live, and it gets an MP3, and they can do it all with nothing more than their phone.
That'd be awesome.
Occasional use, but the times when it might get used would be worth having, I think.
Yeah.
That might be used more often than you think.
Well, I'm building it, so if I build it, I hope they come.
I would use that. I never do live on the show floor kind of interviews, and I would definitely do that.
Yep. I will soon have the tool for you, and you can be my beta monkey again. You're great at that.
Yes, I want to be a beta monkey.
You could call it Audioscope. Or Alpha Geek Radioscope.
There you go.
Let's see. All right.
It'll work everywhere but CES, NAB.
Yeah, anywhere where the nerds gather and annihilate the local bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, I got to drop off, guys. It was a ton of fun. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for being on.
Todd. You were awesome.
Loved it. See ya.
Bye. All right. One down. See now? But now here's the thing. Where's output? Where'd the output file go?
After Levelator?
Yeah.
Should have gone where it started, huh?
Yeah, it should go right next to where it started. I think sometimes I think I might have programmed in at some point in the deep past to go a different place.
To go someplace else. By the way, in Audio Hijack, you can tell it where you want the file to be saved. So I just created a folder called Audio Hijack, and I put it in my sidebar, so it's always there.
There's a whole level of workflow process that I'm still working on. Wait, I got to think about this. Where would it have gone? It might have gone to the Audio Hijack actual folder. Guys, this is so exciting. Really. So how was the show, Allison?
I felt great about it. I think I only screwed up once.
No,
so
you
that's
did.
not
I
too
didn't
bad.
notice any screw-ups.
Yeah, I didn't screw up at all.
Yeah.
I was surprisingly nervous, though. I was.
It is nerve-wracking.
When you're holding
so,
somebody else's baby, it's different than holding your own, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But you guys did great. You really did. I really want to know where this output thing went. It's making me nutter butter.
Can you do a search for dot output?
No, I'm just going to search the title. I'm just going to search this, and then it should show up.
You know, my friend Dorothy has a script ready for Tom that you press a button and it does all this.
Sweet.
She wrote it for me 2 years ago, and I keep telling Tom, and he's going, yeah, I got to do that. I literally, when I'm done with the show, I press a button, and about 10 minutes later, there's an MP3 file ready for upload. All this stuff, all the ID3 tags go in, the levelation goes on, the whole thing's finished.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta go because now I gotta focus on editing and putting in the stuff, and I've yet to be able to talk and edit at the same time. I really want to be able to. I feel like it's a great skill, but I don't have it yet.
Apparently it's not actually possible. Well, this was really fun. Oh, and by the way, thank you for the connection to Patrick. He's going to be on my show this week. Yay!
Oh, great. I'm super excited.
What a sweetheart.
Yeah, he is fantastic. That's why we hired him.
There you go.
Okay, so we'll talk
Roger,
to you.
Still love you, even if it's only half your head.
No, it's my head. It's just not the rest of my body.
That's right.
All right. Take care, folks.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Oh, whoops. I should probably end that, bro.